Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Mr. Santana, how are you, sir?
Another fine day.
Yes, sir, in paradise. How's everybody doing, sir? La familia, ¿todos bien?
Family is great. Thank God. Yes.
Gracias
And you?
a Dios. Good, everybody's good on my side. Yes, sir.
Who's on the number? Who just dialed in?
Hey, Miss Butler, how are you, ma'am?
Good
I'm doing
afternoon.
well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Let's call this meeting to order. Time is 6 p.m. Today is Tuesday, May 18, 2021. Establishment of a quorum. We have Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Butler, Commissioner Santana, Commissioner Barnes, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Commissioner Avalos present. Yes. Item number 3, public comment was notified. I'm sorry, I missed the Pledge of Allegiance, gentlemen. We can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. It's been a long week, month. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is a prayer, Commissioner Avalos?
Sure. Okay, so if we can all bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day. We ask you that you give us the wisdom, the discernment necessary to make the right choices for our volunteers, for the community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Item number 3, public comment must notify the board to speak concerning agenda items. 5 minutes will be allotted. Public can comment by calling 915-213-3008. The code for this meeting is 969-250-858#. That's 915-213-3008. The PIN number is 969-250-858#. Consent agenda. Commissioners, anything out of consent agenda you wish to pull up?
Negative.
No, sir.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Commissioner Santana was the motion. And
Diaz.
Barnes? Yes?
Diaz and Barnes.
Yes, sir.
Correction was motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Regular agenda. Discussion on communications report by Elva Ramos, March 2021 and April 2021. Is she already on the line? I think she is. Commissioners, if I'll go over it. I went over it with her. So one of the things that was discussed in one of the previous meetings is the the no response, the no calls. So what we did is we kind of broke it down to the areas where the departments are supposed to be covering while our paid staff is no longer available. So if you see that there is 3 rows, and on the no response, we had the first one was 36 calls, 8 of them not available. On the second one that says Monday 1800 to Friday 6 a.m. 6 a.m. It gives down the breakdown. So all the numbers do break down to the departments missing the call and not the paid staff coming out. So we are going to be talking to the departments as to how it is that they're missing the calls. If you recall, they were saying that we were the ones missing the calls, so it is missing while they're tasked to be responding. She did give the breakdown of where the responses were. I'm not quite sure why she's not here today. She might have just missed it, but the numbers did add up, and it looks pretty self-explanatory on all the charts that she made out for them being the ones missing the calls and not while the paid staff is on. Any questions, commissioners?
No, sir.
Negative.
Well, it is less, right, Chief?
What's that?
It's less than it was
Yes.
before.
So now, one of the things that we did mention last time is that we weren't sure who was missing the calls, but now the numbers are kind of dropping as we see where they're lacking, and they're trying to pick up more of the calls. So the numbers should be starting to drop a little bit more as they now see where they're lacking the time frames, and we can try to adjust for their lack of response. And of course, if you see where it says not available, is they were already tied up on another call, so that could have been also it. But the numbers are driving. If you see from the very top 36 to the very bottom 31, and they're telling you that there was 6 not available, so it's making sense, with 1 or 2 off the chart. But it is driving now.
Right, but overall, the response rates are increased than they were before we did this analysis and this breakdown.
Definitely. Any other questions, commissioners?
No, sir.
Negative, sir.
Item number 6 was for informational purposes. Item number 7, discussion action on expenditures exceeding $2,000, coming sales service for the amount of $2,671. Commissioners, these are parts that are being requested. We are running this through Commissioner Santana. This was reserved bumper 501. I don't know why they broke it down to one individual, but that's okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion action approving the purchase of 3,000 gallons of fuel from CNR Distributing refuel tank at the district headquarters in the amount of $8,285.78. Commissioners, as you all know, there was a kind of a scare, and we prepared in case that did happen. There's still prices are going up. We're buying gas cheaply, but we did prepare for anything to go down. We did order 3,000 gallons. This was called to Commissioner Santana as your directive, and they are here at the district office ready in case anything goes. And it did cost $8,285.78. So normally it takes us up for every 1,000 gallons about a month and a half to use them down. So if we continue at this rate, we should be in by the end of the fiscal year with this amount of fuel. And if we get into any trouble with the prices of fuel, we purchase this fuel at $2.45 a gallon rather than the $3 and something cents that it's costing now.
Sounds like a good investment. You looking for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and action on amending the fiscal year 2020-2021 budget. Mariana,
Hi,
go ahead.
Commissioners. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Maria.
So in the Dropbox, Commissioners, I dropped the Excel format in PDF as well and the Word document. There's 3 sources of revenue we need to add to our budget, which was the $3 million for the loan that we received for the SCBA's,
Okay.
the $225,000 we received for the grant income for the CARES Act, and the $305,000 we received from when we closed each fire department's account and transferred the money to the operating district. So a total increase for revenue that needs to be added to our budget is a total of $3.8 million. So we started our budget at 7.4, and right now with this increase, it will increase it to $11 million. I think it's 11.4. Let me go ahead and open it. 11.2. So I need approval for that to be added to the budget since we already have that revenue in our books. Also added in there were a few transfers from each fire department, just small transfers for Clint, Fabens, Montana, Sanelli, and Socorro. And they're all in the Word document.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any
Hey.
questions?
Yeah, I got a question. I know this appears to be some type, kind of a windfall. Is there any downside to this other than seems very positive or?
I actually, well, remember the 3 million, we received it in last fiscal year. So
Right.
what Theo, because I did run this with Theo from SB&G, since it was approved in last fiscal year, it was in the audit of last fiscal year, but the expenses are being done this fiscal year. So I'm adding it just to the budget for my books to balance. He looked at everything, he said everything was good to go.
All right.
Okay. And there is a recommendation that I'm recommending for the 305,000 that we transferred from the operating of each fire department to be put in reserves. Now, meaning that's going to be just there sitting in reserves. If needed, we would use it at the end of the fiscal year. If not, it's just going to go back into our reserves.
And the reserve
That's your
for
recommendation,
anything?
Mariana?
Huh?
I'm sorry, the
Sorry.
reserve? What, how do you use that?
That's for any any items that you want to pull out of reserves to cover any unforeseen items, or if you want to balance the budget from there, or cover some of the items that we couldn't cover in the budget.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief. Any more questions?
No, ma'am.
So that's your recommendation, Mariana, then?
Yes, because we're doing pretty good with the budget right now. Everything's looking pretty healthy. I don't
Yeah.
foresee that we're going to use it, but it's just a contingency plan if we do need it.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Diaz. Have a second?
Second.
Second. I think Adrian got it.
Santana was second.
I have a second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion action on the Chase Bank account excess collateral submitted by Mariana Navarrete. Go ahead, Mariana.
So again, this is just the signature that we need for the bank to release the excess collateral, which Commissioner Santana will sign. They are asking for an updated signers, which is, I believe, Diaz, Santana, and Jackie, because the last time it was updated was in 2018, but it's just a document just to update because we're already in 2021. It's just to release the excess collateral that we have in the account.
So do we need to do something?
You need-
No,
you
you
need
just need to
motion.
approve it. And Commissioner Santana will sign, but I do need the other updated document, which I can get with you, Jackie and Diaz and Santana, so we can meet up to get that updated.
We need to make a motion on this?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
make a motion on this to approve.
We have
Second,
a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes.
yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion report by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, there is a one-page Dropbox with everything we've been having this month. First and foremost, I want to thank all the staff. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We've been working late hours, Saturdays, all day. We've been hitting every area the Commissioners Court has pointed out to us as a request for us to cover. I can't tell you the amount of, I've said it last month and I'll say it again this month. I think we've grown more as a team now than we ever have. And we're all working really hard together. I'm trying to keep up with everything else that's going on. In addition to what we're doing, we're about to start all the high schools with the kids of 12 to 15 and within our area. And that is going to be a pretty big task. We've already begun with some walk-ins here. They rushed over here to walk into our office, and that's great. They want the vaccine. So on those, you can see all the events that we've had. In addition to that, Commissioners Court has been very, very helpful to us and trying to see if we have any needs. I doubt that Wally's in the meeting today, but thank you to Wally also. He's been helping us a lot. There's several agenda items that will be covered here through Commissioners Court as well. But definitely, I want to thank all our team for the hard work that they've been putting out here and all throughout these vaccination events that we've been having. Also, Chief Sariana has stepped out drastically with the FRO, so he's been keeping up with it. It's been one big team that we've never thought we can do anything like this, and we were able to accomplish it. Any questions, Commissioners?
Chief, do you see this slowing down soon? I mean, after the 12 to 15-year-olds?
No, the way we're looking at it right now, the 12 to 15-year-olds are beginning, and in August, we're being told the 2 to 11-year-olds are going to begin. So it's kind of like catch up right now for everyone that wants it, and then catch up the next one. And once those are all completed, then maybe it's going to be back to normal. But right now, we still have a lot of people that are hesitant to receive the vaccine, and at the end, they're wanting it. We're at the point now that the guidance to us is even if we have to open one vial to vaccinate one person, we may do so, which is before it was you have to have the 6 people, the 10 people, the 5 people in front of you. Now, if I have to open one vial for one person, the cost versus the benefit is greatly better than the other one.
And are you doing any specific type of vaccine, or
We're doing them all, whatever
have
so right now for the 12 to 15s is
Pfizer?
only Pfizer.
Yeah.
Well, we have it all. We have Pfizer, we have Moderna, and we have Johnson & Johnson. Everybody has a different preference, so we have them all.
Okay.
Whatever they walk in here and ask for, we have it.
Okay, I think it's obviously great to see the ESD playing such a critical role in the vaccination efforts, and kudos to the whole team for doing all of this hard work. Do you see any impacts to like other ESD operations because of all of this vaccination work?
No, I mean, the Fire Marshal's office is still keeping up with all our permitting, all our daily routines that we're supposed to keep. The only thing that we are noticing, and this is part of my report today, is that all our new fleet, it's on, I'm going to say back order. Partial of it is already ready, completed, but some of the equipment, since the supply chain is broken, we can't get the rest of the parts. So I'm having to modify what we were looking to put on these vehicles, just because it's either get them out now or wait till the supply chain gets back up to normal. So my staff, the maintenance shop is also working diligently to make sure that our fleet is coming out. And that's part of the other, another thing that we're running into. Parts for these fire trucks are scarce right now. The supply chain is really, I'm gonna say like this, messed up right now. So we are on hold, and I want all the departments to know that it's not that we're putting them in the back burner, it's just we can't get parts. So we're having to wait till somebody gets us the parts so that we can put it out there. Same thing for gloves. We're still only able to get a couple of boxes of gloves, but one of my fire marshals went to a warehouse in Socorro, and apparently it's full of latex gloves. So we're about to pay them a visit to see what they have. But yeah, it's still very broken up. We're still struggling to get some supplies, but we're working on it, and we're keeping up with all the maintenance on our facilities with what we can. Of course, you've seen the prices of lumber, the prices of everything skyrocketing. So this is where we have all our contingency plans, and we prepared with fuel just in case it does skyrocket, because they're saying as soon as the kids get out of school, we might be seeing $5-6 a gallon unleaded. Who knows? But nonetheless, we can buy it cheaper and store it here ourselves and provide our own departments with fuel.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chief.
Item number 11 was informational purposes only. Item number 12, discuss an action updated purchase of tough books for new fleet, approved by regular meeting October 2020. Item number 11 in the amount of $88,800. Commissioners, part of the like I said earlier, we're having such a breakdown in supply. So when we got the quote for the tough books, it was including for the docking stations for them. We were able to get the docking stations cheaper installed here locally. So we kind of took them off that and kind of saved the district some money. So the amount went different. So we want to make sure that you all are aware and ratify that in the item number 12. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13, again with item number 12, discussion and action on the updated purchase and installation of tablet docking stations for the tough books at Alamo Auto Supply in the amount of $25,742.75. Commissioners, again, when we were going to buy the docking stations through the tough book dealer, it was only the tough book, and we were still going to have to pay the installation at a higher rate here. And if anything went wrong, we were going to have to pay for them to take it off and ship it back. So we went with a local vendor, and it's still within our budget that we have. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Commissioner Santana is the motion. Do I have a second?
Diaz.
Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 14, discussion and action on the purchase of an ice maker for district office through Calderella's, either $8,235, Granger at $4,764.56, Shamrock Foods at $3,957. Commissioners, we currently have an ice maker here at the district office. However, Chief Reyes requested one for his Tornillo station, and I can't see ourselves buying a very expensive machine to put out there. So we would put a little bit bigger machine here at the district office, which we've been using a lot, and put the smaller one in Tornillo, if that's what you all are agree to do, to allow the purchase and kind of keep everybody happy right now with the needs of the district and the departments.
Motion to
Is
approve?
there, sorry, I have a question. Is there just not a small ice maker that you can put in Tornillo?
Yes, we'd have to purchase another one, and we have one here at the district office. So it's brand new. So why buy another one when we can get a little bit bigger? Because we actually been exhausting the one here with all these events, with ice and everything, and it's a way small machine. So get a little bit bigger one here for the district office that would serve also the Fabit station we need be, and then put that smaller one in Tornillo.
Chief, what have you been using that ice maker for?
The one here at the district office?
Yes, sir.
Or when we're out in the outdoor events and we have to keep all our drinks cool, the waters, the Gatorades, everything and anything that we've needed ice for.
Was the motion to go with a specific vendor?
Yes, Shamrock Foods for $3,957.
Okay.
I just want the perception to be, we're getting a new ice machine for the district and giving a hand-me-down,
It's
there
either that,
different
Commissioner,
sizes.
it's either that or we don't put one in Tornillo. The use is very, very minimal. So I can't see ourselves spending $4,000 for a nice machine that's going to get minimal use, and we can put a smaller one that we already have here at the district office, which was brand new. We're a year and a half into being here at the district office, and I think it'll serve the purpose of that station.
Fair enough. Motion approved.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 15, discussion action approving the purchase of 2 command units if approved by Commissioners Court. Commissioners, you do have in your packet there, so out of all this work we've been doing, we found out the county is not prepared for any of the bigger scale incidents, and the only command unit that we share with the city of El Paso. And we've had a hard time trying to borrow it and bringing it out to us. And when we did, it broke down several times. So Commissioners Court did take notice on that. So this item is being backed up by them. It's actually probably going to be on the agenda either Thursday or the following Monday. For them to allocate this funding to us, they will be paying from. And we do have backing from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office for us to get these 2 units, as it will be shared by all 3 entities, the Constable's Office, the Sheriff's Department, and ESD number 2, for any county activities that they are needed.
Now, Chief, as far as this, you had mentioned the fact that these would be stored here at the district office.
They will be owned and stored by the district, yes.
Okay.
To be shared with the Sheriff's Department.
Correct.
Now, can we do an MOA or MOU with them to, sounds like the problem with the current ones is the maintenance plan or maintaining them running. Now, if we're gonna lend those out to the sheriff's office or whatnot, who does have 85% of the county budget, are we gonna be cut losses when it comes to maintenance, or is that gonna be a shared?
No, it's going to be the county's paying for the units. We will handle the maintenance. We have the department. We handle the parts for all our big trucks. They pretty much are going to match what we submitted for them to purchase. If you see the 2 quotes, one of them's made out to El Paso County Sheriff's, one of them's made out to us. But in talks with all the county entities, with the county of El Paso, they don't have a department that can handle anything of that magnitude. So the proposal is for us to own both of them and share with them. We will be getting an MOU. That'll be next if and when these units are approved. We do have a deadline, of course, of June 10th to order these and do the prepay, as they will be going up in price because of the materials. The raw materials are going up, so they're only sticking to the price until such time. 622. I'm sorry, 622 is the guaranteed price. So Commissioners Court is going to be taking action here pretty quick to make sure that we do them. And that's why the verbiage is if approved by Commissioners Court. Now, Commissioners Court did give guidance to Wally Hargrove's office, and I think Jessica's on the line to continue with the proposals. So I think we're looking pretty good, and I just need your authorization that if they approve it, we can purchase these units.
Now, what are they gonna do with the old one, Roger? Then we're not gonna take that into our maintenance plan, are they?
I'm sorry?
The one, the current one, are we gonna absorb that into our maintenance plan, or we're just gonna
That's
maintain
gonna
the two
be-
new ones?
No, just the two new ones.
All right.
One of them will be housed here at the headquarters, and the other one will be housed in West El Paso at our Vinton Fire Station.
Make a motion to approve, I think, unless anyone needs more information.
I do. So the county, when they approve this, they're not going to have an MOU or any kind of legal requirement for the commissioners to approve this
Right now,
grant, basically, to the ESD?
Right now, because we're allowed to get the grant through the American Rescue Plan, we're eligible to get the grant. So they're trying to give us that through that grant. And once that happens, the next thing will be for us to also put an agenda item to get the MOU, which I've already talked to Ken, and it'll be similar to the one we just signed with the city of El Paso for that rehab unit that they got under a grant. So it'll be the same thing. So the city of El Paso has loaned us their unit. They absorb the maintenance, but of course their unit is already, I think, 12 or 13 years old as well. So that's why the breakdown.
I would feel much more comfortable voting on this if we had the legal documentation and the MOU to look at for this. I mean, I think the questions that Commissioner Barnes posed are valid. And we really don't know what we're approving for the county to approve if we don't see the documentation.
As far as
As far as the partnership, the MOU, how everybody's going to use it, what we're liable for, what we're not.
Well, once we own the equipment, we'd be liable for insuring it and maintaining it. Other than that, it's day-to-day operations that we all normally do. However, the MOU is pretty much just that we're going to give them the authority to drive it, to pick it up when they need it, and run to any calls within the county of El Paso to use it. So like I said, that is already, I did talk to Ken already, so we're going to submit that as well. The next one, this is just to get the motion running to purchase the units, and that'll be the next one. Because we are going to receive a document once they transfer the funding, and we will probably have to have a special meeting for that as well. We're just trying to get the approval that if they do approve it, because we have a deadline of the 22nd, and they're also working. Jessica, are you on the line?
Hi, yes, I am.
Did you have a chance to talk to Wally about this?
Briefly, so where we're at right now is we're still looking at funding for it, or confirming funding. Legal is reviewing it right now to see if ARPA funds can be used in this situation, considering that we would be turning ownership over to the ESD. And so beyond that, I don't think there's been any further movement on the county side. We just received ARPA guidance this week from the treasurer's office. So the county attorney is looking at it now. But I think everything that you relayed is correct. The understanding that was presented to Commissioner's Court was that the units would be owned by the district and maintained by the district for use between the county and the district.
This is the first time, Commissioners, that we've ever had a working relationship of this magnitude with the county and the county entities. I can tell you very much that even the county commissioners are kind of surprised the Sheriff's Department is backing us up on this to receive this funding for these units, and that's kind of never happened.
So if I understand the process correctly, we're approving this so that when the Commissioner's Court gets a chance to review whether the funding will allow for the purchase of these, they'll know we already approved it, but then we still have to come back and approve the MOU, correct?
And the reason for that, Commissioner, is just so that we can issue a PO if the deadline's coming. So they have a PO that we committed before the deadline. And then you will have to sign the receivement of the ARPA funds, which we are entitled to receive.
Okay, so we're still going to have another meeting to approve more of the financial and legal aspects of this transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like I said, it's item number 50, discussion and action on approving the purchase of 2 command units if approved by Commissioner's Court. So if this is contingent, we're not going to go do it unless Commissioner's Court does approve the funding for these 2 units.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 16, discussion and action allowing 6 members of the Socorro Fire Department to attend the Advanced Technical Swiftwater Training in Pflugerville, Texas, in the amount of $3,000 at $600 per student. They will be using credit from the previously approved training. The amount will be offset with grant provided by Texas Forest Service. They did submit the request for this to go on the agenda, Commissioners. Of course, I don't ever deny any of the trainings, and they do have the funding. Correct, Mariana?
Yes, they do. They have available funding for training and travel.
Okay.
Okay. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17, discussion and action on allowing 4 members of the Clinton Fire Department to attend the Advanced Technical Swiftwater Rescue Training at Pflugerville, Texas, in the amount of $2,400 at $600 per student. Also by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, he did submit his request. Also, same thing. They do have the funding to attend this training.
Motion approved.
Yes, they do. Give me a second. Training. Yeah, they still do. And travel as well.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Aye. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion and action on allowing 3 members of the Fabens Fire Department to attend EMT class at El Paso Community College. Total amount $2,614.50 at a cost of $871.50 per student. Submitted by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, he did submit this last month. There was a discrepancy, and I still do believe there's a discrepancy. Be on the line.
I think Tony's on the line, Chief.
Chief Reyes, are you on the line?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Chief.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, just wanting approval on sending 3 of my members to EMT school at El Paso Community College. The reason we decided on El Paso Community College is these 3 members are currently enrolled at Community. They do have the summer break off, and they do have an EMT program in the summer. That's why we decided with Community and not Live for ProAction. After this EMT Academy, they will be continuing on with their field of studies, and just requesting approval to pay for their tuition.
Mariana, we have, do they have funding and everything?
Yeah, They do have the funding available for both training and travel if needed.
Commissioner, the thing that I'm trying to see here, how it's gonna go is, I've got a concern. Typically, the EMT class is going for about $1,600 to $1,800. Getting it at $871.50 per student is great. But that's only not even the 6 college hours through EPCC. Because I did have Angie reach out to community college, and the price is way higher. Now, the other thing that I do have is that they won't be able to bill us. They're billing the student directly to them, and I don't know that we can commingle monies like that. Typically, when we pay an academy for them to go to any type of training, is straight to the academy billing us, and this would be that we pay those students' accounts. So I don't know that this is something we can do.
And the department person, and then we pay the department?
You can take no action on this one, and then hear the department up when they reimburse them for the $871.50. However, from what I've been talking to, we talked to community college, this class is more like $1,600 with all the other sheet of paper that all the other requirements that they have, vaccinations, uniforms, background checks. I mean, they have a list of things that they will require, but they're not part of the curriculum.
So the reason we're asking for the 871 is we need to pay their tuition. That's just for the tuition by the 24th. Everything else, they won't find out till they actually attend the class on what book they need, what type of uniform, and other requirements. This is just right now just to pay the tuition. Like I said, I know we're having trouble with El Paso Community College with invoices and stuff like that, but that was the reason we picked community college, because these individuals are going through college. They have a summer break, and they want to go through the EPCC one so they can continue on their studies afterwards. Life Academy and Pro Action have different dates. It would be hard for them to go from college to another institution and stuff like that.
So what you're saying, Chief, is your request is actually going to go up?
Excuse me? Well, like I said, this is for tuition only, just because we have to pay by the 24th so they can actually go to class. The books, I believe we quoted the books, and everything should be under $2,000, which I believe it just needs your approval for us to pay.
Chief Esparza, if Chief Reyes already has spoken to EPCC and his volunteers, this fits their schedule. That's kind of what I'm looking at too. They have the summer off and they're able to go, and they may not be able to attend other classes, and we're able to reimburse the 800. I don't see why we should not allow them to do this. I think it's good. It's proactive to get our volunteers out there and trained, especially with them going to EPCC. If this is the time that they can go, I think we should take advantage of it. So as long as we can reimburse Chief Reyes and Fabens, the Fabens Fire, I think we should move forward with it.
That's the question. I have no doubt that we should send our volunteers to get trained, especially if this is where they want to go. My concern is, can we pay them the $871.50 to their account at the community college under their account, and use that receipt for us? Because there will be other things, and this is something we have to get with our accounting firm to see if that's something doable. This would be kind of commingling, because we cannot do that. Now, if you choose to not take action, and of course, this is the way we've done it, it is in our contract that you all can approve additional expenses through their contract if you all approve it at a later date.
I agree with Rick, Roger, but as we look at the convenience for the individual, I'll make sure there's no consequence to the ESD though.
Yes, that's my only concern. The concern is not going to community college, it's just, can we reimburse that account?
Yeah, it might just be a quick phone call to check, just whoever balances and make sure we're doing the right thing. I think it's the right thing. Is it the correct thing?
You can take two steps. You can make a motion to approve the 87150 contingent of our accounting firm saying, yes, this is legal to do. Or you can leave it alone, let Chief Reyes do his thing, and then come back at next month and add it to the agenda and take a motion, take an action for you personally.
Hey, we don't want to put Chief Reyes at a disadvantage if there's a time hack on this.
Right.
I think he's doing right by people.
So either one will allow Chief Reyes to move forward with this, Chief Esparza?
Chief Reyes can right now go pay for those on their department account and submit later for us to take, for us to try to reimburse it for the expenses of getting them trained. Yes.
And Chief Reyes might understand the gamble there is he might not get reimbursed.
Correct.
It's contingent depending on what our SB&G says, correct?
Correct.
How
You can either
how
take a
soon can we
motion.
get an answer from
I'm sorry?
SPG?
We can call them tomorrow.
Okay, that way we don't have Chief Reyes waiting
Right, exactly.
that long.
Agree
People
with.
up on our side, get it done and help them out.
Yeah.
Right, I agree.
So remember, Commissioners, you can take a motion contingent of our SB&G or accounting firm saying, yes, you can do this. Or if he chooses to, he can also pay it and come back next month for the board's consideration to reimburse them for it.
I make a motion to support the EMT classes at community college contingent on our accounting department's.
Second.
Approved.
I'm sorry, Mike. Chief Reyes, does that work for you?
Yes, sir. You know, we'll try to do whatever you need, whatever the ESD2 or the law firm needs, whatever receipts we need to go out and get. You know, we'll try to work with whoever we need to work with.
All right, brother.
Chief, thank you for pushing your crew.
Thank you,
I have
Chief.
a motion
thank
by
you.
Commissioner Butler, contingent of the class of the contingent of our accounting team proving that this is legal for us to pay like this. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Sorry, I had a sneeze. Commissioner
Thank you,
Avalos?
Yes,
Thank
aye.
The motion carries.
Hey, thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
Item number
Thank you.
19, discussion. Item number 19, discussion and action on moving forward the strategic planning process, submitted by Jackie Butler.
Commissioners, we budgeted for a strategic planning process for this year. I know it was a little bit of a unknown whether we would be able to move forward with it because of COVID, but I think now that it's safer for people to meet and travel, you know, considering whether we get an outside consultant that would have to come in, I'd like your feedback and approval on whether we can start that process and hopefully have some really solid strategic planning over the summer and in preparation for our next fiscal year budget.
Strategic planning, Ms. Butler, can you elaborate a little bit? This is going to be like a wish list, correct? Like, in other words, what we want for the district.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've been a commissioner now for 4 years, and I've never seen a long-term strategic vision or plan for the ESD. We've grown a lot and we've accomplished a lot over the 4 years, but I I haven't seen a strategic plan that's being followed, whether it's for outreach or communications within the departments and the ESD, or operations, how we want to grow, or staffing. Unless we go to like these yearly conferences, it's hard to know what the trends are for ESD across the state, where, fire departments might be shifting more towards medical and EMTs versus, firefighting. So those kinds of things, I think for our collective education, but also to make sure that we're all aligned in terms of vision and how and where we want the ESD to grow. I think it would be a worthwhile process. And for me, strategic planning, I envision like a SWOT analysis, understanding our current and long-term strengths and where we might need to address some challenges or weaknesses as an organization, and then putting together some long-term goals and objectives related to where we might have some challenges or weaknesses. Just making sure that where we're strong, we continue to be strong, and where we might need a little bit of work, we can focus on those over the next, 2 to 5 years, hopefully.
So are you asking for like an outside group to come in and evaluate this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, the reason I started thinking about this was at the conference last year. There was a speaker on strategic planning for ESDs, and Mariana and Chief know his name, or the name of that firm that he works with that does this work. I don't know that there's anybody locally that does strategic planning for these kinds of organizations. So I think when we budgeted, we did ask for a proposal, right, for somebody who would be able to come in, meet with us, evaluate the ESD, and then work with us through the strategic planning process.
Well, isn't like Chief Esparza best suited to do strategic planning for us, and the president of the board and the president of the volunteer departments? I guess I'm missing why we would need an outside firm to come in and tell us what we're strong in and what we're weak in, if we can see that ourselves, or we can have discussions with everybody here to understand.
It's more facilitation of the process from somebody who understands ESDs. So I'm sure if Chief Esparza has the time and is knowledgeable in strategic planning processes and wants to do it, and says we don't need somebody outside to come in and help us do it, then that's fantastic. I don't know that that's the case. I think having somebody come in and help with strategic planning processes isn't unique. I mean, there are people who do this, right?
How much are we looking at spending on this?
I think we budgeted 25,000 for this particular item.
Yes, we did. We budgeted 25,000.
Hey, Rick, it's not the outside agency comes in and identifies you. They help facilitate for us to identify what our strengths and weaknesses are, what our opportunities are, what the threats are to our strategic planning. They're not the experts on what our problems are. They do the trainer on identifying us to identify those strengths and weaknesses. We might not know what all our strengths are. We know individual strengths, but collectively, we have a great organization. We have great fire stations. We have great staff, and they tried to find that level of synergy to bring it all together. Is that kind of close, Jackie?
Yeah, I mean, you said it really well. That's what I would hope this process would help us.
Is there a way to do some more research, maybe, on who is using that person that does the strategic planning for the ESDs, and maybe reach out to those ESDs and kind of get a feel from them if it's helped them or not? I mean, just a thought, guys.
Commissioners, if I may, I just had the opportunity to see it in the El Paso County Strategic Planning meeting a couple of weeks ago. And they pretty much just took their commissioners and Betsy Keller, and she took all her staff, the admin staff that she uses to the meeting, as well as we were sitting there because, of course, this is where the command units come into play as well. Is it something that we need? Is it something that is useful? So one of the things that they will do is they should analyze what we currently have, and are we heading in the right path, or are we heading in the path or are we trying to reach a goal that's unreachable with our current standings? I think that's what.
That we won't be able to sustain it from the years to come.
So when I look at this,
strategic plan would help us, someone come in from out to see in clear eyes and not knowing, but coming in and checking out, okay, this is where you stand financially. What are your goals to get there from 5 to 10 years? Can we sustain to continue buying, many units when they're due? Can we sustain payroll if we want to hire more individuals? They're kind of looking more towards the future than we are, which is where we're kind of looking maybe a year or two ahead. That's it. So this strategic plan would come and help us to look 5-10 years to say if we can sustain this or not. What are our weaknesses? What are our strengths? So I think it would be a good thing to bring in to the ESD.
Commissioners, if I may also, sorry.
It's okay.
When we looked at this, one of the great things that happened out of this COVID is we had the opportunity to work with a lot of ESDs. I'm pretty sure you've seen it on social media. Those ESDs are not bigger than us. They're not better than us, but they have one thing that we don't have. They run a $7 million budget with one fire station. And Commissioners Court that was here during those events, they sat down and kind of talked to them of why are they able to come to us, but we're not able to go to them. So they're noticing the differences. This is where it all begins also for us to try to get legislation changed. It's for us to be able to get a little bit more flexibility in taxing a little bit more. Of course, nobody wants to ever hear the word taxing. Believe me when I tell you that every year we look at it, do we need more staff? Of course we need more staff. But either we hire more staff or we cut projects that the fire stations need, the remodels that we need, new trucks that we need, because of course us as staff costs money and it's something that we want to accomplish. But now we're being, this part of this great effort that we've been doing. They see that the ESD number 2 is capable of so many things if we have the right funding for it, and we don't. But we're doing with what we can with what we have. So it's been an awesome opportunity for us to shine with the little bit that we have. We pretty much run a budget of $7.5 million, running 13 stations. And the ESDs that are coming from Travis, Bexar County, they're amazed. They can't even begin to say, how the heck do you all do that? So it's a little different. This would be somebody that's coming from the outside looking in and say, wow, yeah, you can't do that. You can only look at so much level before something's got to give. Yeah. So it might be beneficial for us to look at it one time and go for there and see where we stand. I think we're headed in the right direction the way we're doing things now, but I think it might be beneficial for us to have somebody else look at from the outside in and kind of point out our strengths and our weaknesses.
It's just difficult thinking that, discussing $25,000 for somebody telling us, and this is, well, ignorance on my part, I guess, but telling us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, where we can spend this money or where we should not be spending this money. And we can put those $25,000 in another fire truck, a new engine, a new pump. We don't have that kind of money. $25,000 is a lot of money. But once again, maybe it is a good thing. I don't understand it, though. I really do not understand that.
Well, what if as a next step we ask this consultant, he did provide somewhat of a proposal, right, Mariana? When we asked him for a quote?
Yeah, he did. I think he did.
Could we ask him to come in and just present his services and a proposal to us on the benefits of doing a strategic planning process for an ESD like ours. Listen, one of the things strategic planning processes I've seen, the city does it, the county does it, most government organizations do it. And for me, one of the things that I've seen is our leader is Roger, right? He helps us navigate through all of these things. He helped us with the building. He has the vision. He has the vision, and I know Commissioner Santana and Commissioner Diaz, you're really involved in that. But there's nothing that I've seen that's written down that says this is the 5 or 10 year plan for ESD number 2. This is how we're going to continue to grow. This is how our revenues are going to remain sustainable. This is how many staff we have, and this is where we need more staff. We go through some of it during the budgeting process, but it's for 1 year, right? So what if something happens to Roger, or something happens to Commissioner Santana, and we're left without any map or guidance or vision for next steps for the ESD? I think as an organization, it's in our benefit to go through a process to make sure we're all on the same page in terms of where the ESD is now and where we want it to be in the future, and that we have that a tangible something in writing, so that the people who come after us can continue on that path. Right now, we don't have anything like that I know of.
I agree. We don't know it all. And yeah, we should be open to these opportunities, these possibilities, and we should listen. And I agree with you, Ms. Butler. Maybe we should listen to his proposal. At the very least, we need to do that.
I know that for the GFOA that I attend, they recommend a minimum of a 5-year strategic plan. Some cities, some counties even have a 10, a 15, 20-year plan. One guy showed up from the city of Los Angeles with the 20-year strategic planning, because it's such a huge city and they're, bonds and all these contracts they have to move. So they typically recommend a minimum of a 5-year strategic plan, minimum.
Chief Esparza, the last time we spoke about this, if I'm not mistaken, you said that for the money we're going to spend on him, you could tell us the same thing he could. You could list the issues that we have.
I'm looking at his proposal right now, and pretty much I'm going to have to do the work that he's requesting, because it's to provide an accurate, timely review of emergency services needs for the district's response area, establish goals and priorities for the future, facilitate the allocation of resources in the area's greatest impact on the emergency services needs, facilitate the shared responsibility of cost-effective delivery of emergency services in the district. So phase 1 would be the initial primary task of the person responsible for each of the tasks, which will be you as commissioners and myself and my staff. The methods of evaluating the results, research to be utilized, possible obstacles and problems in the areas associated with the accomplishment of each task, and working relationships, logistics, appropriate lines of communication, constructural agreements. Then the second task is going to be the acquisition review of the background of all the information. So pretty much we're all going to have to do all the work. Like I said, it's us as a team coming together, putting it together, and for them to present to us.
Yeah. I mean, strategic planning is work, but unless we are intentional about going through the process, it always gets put on the back burner, right? It's always, well, we'll just put out the fires as we go and we'll plan whenever we need to. And so I think we should take the time, even though it's going to take time and resources, we should invest in this process for the ESD.
And remember, commissioners, I'm looking at his quote right now, and he had the base cost was $13,200, and that's for him to do it virtual. This was right before right at the beginning of the pandemic, so this was for him to do it virtual. The come here, then the cost will go up.
I think we budgeted 20K actually, not 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hoping that that would cover if we needed to pay for travel or
Extra.
anything
Yeah.
additional.
All right, I'm willing to give this a go and listen to what he has for us then. Ms. Butler, you presented a very good case. I make a motion on this.
Second.
So, Commissioners, stand by. So the motion, the only thing that's on the agenda right now is discussion action on moving forward with strategic planning. So do you want me to contact him to give a presentation before you take any action? Because that doesn't take you to take action. You can take no action right now. We'll call him. We'll put him on the next agenda for him to give his presentation, and then we'll take action on that.
Is there other options out there, even within county? Because just because someone talks at SAFE-D, don't make them the expert, right?
No, actually, pretty much everybody that, like the one out of the county, I think he said he was out of Phoenix, maybe LA. So yeah. Everybody's coming from out of town.
We're not the first one in county to go through a SWAT process or go through the strategic planning process. So if there's lessons learned in county or within county, we have assets available there. Is that something available, or I don't know.
No, the county just hired somebody. Like I said, he's from a different firm, but there are many firms. It's eventually you would have to do, according to Ken, we would do RFP. We can't hire them because they don't fall under the professional services.
Gotcha.
So would you like for me to invite him at the next meeting if he's available?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So item number 19, no motion?
No motion.
Okay. Item number 19, informational purposes only. Item number 20, discussion action updates of human resources needs and processes from Tommy Cano HR, requested by Jackie Butler.
I put this on here because we had this discussion with Tommy and his team a few months ago now. Was it February? When we renewed your contract, and we had discussed that you would be coming back with more intensive services to the ESD. So I was just hoping to hear from you on how that's going, and if there's anything that, you know, the board needs to help with or you know, move forward on after that discussion.
Good evening, Commissioner. So there's been some action, there's been some activity going on, but of course, with everything that's happening with Chief and the staff, and of course, I'm working Saturdays, weekends, and all that. It's put a few things in the back burner because of the lack of time or thereof. I know that my staff has worked with Chief and tried to staff a couple positions, and they're here. Obviously, Cindy and Brenda are here to talk a little bit about that. We are trying to move forward with a lot of different projects, and of course, you know, again, due to the time sensitivity at this point, there's been some stuff that's being put on the back burner that's ready to go. I mean, everything is kind of ready to go, so to speak. We have even had the discussion of proctoring some of these certifications that are going to be testings that are going to be performed on a monthly basis. That also got put on the back burner, Chief, if you want to discuss that a little bit as well. But as far as where we stand right now, I know that there's been interviews that have been done. Cindy and Brenda, I'll invite you guys to speak on what, you know, has transpired since coming back on board with the ESD. I think it was effective March 1st, if I'm not mistaken. February, March. So.
Good afternoon, commissioners. It's good to see you all once again. Chief and I have been, well, Chief I and Brenda, we've been working really diligently trying to get him a couple of admin assist positions filled. We've had a series of interviews. We're awaiting a second set of interviews. Again, all contingent on availability as far as time. We have began our training sessions with supervisors. And we'll continue to work on that, right? On the writer processes, we had a refresher of the harassment, well, anti-harassment, right? Trainings, and Chief and I, you know, when he can't get a hold of Mr. Cano, he'll reach out to me. And we'll, you know, going over the day-to-day, you know, whether it's worker comp stuff, employee issues. So the lines of communication are there. Right now, it's just a matter of trying to squeeze time with all this new age groups that have opened up. You know, Chief was able to find a small window for us to do the interviews because the day before they'd had this big old vaccine clinic. So again, you know, it's a continuous process, and we're still working on getting some of those positions filled.
Commissioner, just so you know, the directive for Cano HR was for them to send me the dates that they would like to do the trainings in the mornings. If it's open, we will say yes. If it's not, we will send back a change of time or date. So that's what they're currently working on, to send us the time. I know that Ms. Brenda did send out a request for her to come do an audit on the I-9s. However, we haven't had new employees. The one employee that we did have quit, so there's really no need for that right now. I kind of put her in the back burner, so everything was still the same. So other than that, we really haven't moved. We are looking to fill two positions that we had. One that was allocated for Mariana, which she no longer wanted, and then one that was allocated for us as well. So I'm trying to get a second helper for purchasing, and maybe right now another mechanic for maintenance. So we are kind of moving forward with everything, trying to fill the positions that we do have. We do see ourselves kind of growing a little bit. We thought we were going to grow at the beginning of this by like 27 people, that we were going to have the county fund us. But as this kind of is winding down, like you said, Ms. Butler, we were kind of able to task this with just the minimal staff that we have. That's why we are using all our staff, and I'm very appreciative of our staff not giving up on the district and all the public. They are working very hard to make this happen.
Chief, do you also want to talk a little bit on the proctoring of the testing?
So yes, I did mention this at the last meeting when all this happened. ESD number 2 is now a regional testing facility for Texas Commission on Fire Protection. We are working to become also a online academy so that we can send all our volunteers at little to no cost to us, but we can't proctor the state exam ourselves because that's a conflict of interest. So Cano HR will be doing monthly proctoring of tests to begin with. So all our people that are going to either community college or a current online service, they will be able to test here at the district headquarters in our facility without us having to send them to either Lubbock, Midland, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin. They'll be coming here once a month if they can, or if they're not going to expire, which I'm hoping they don't wait that long. But they'll be coming here to our district office and testing here. It'll be available every month for them to test.
We've already submitted our, I guess, the documentation, the correspondence, the credentialing that they're asking of the individuals that are going to be involved in the proctoring, so that we're ready to go as well. And I know that discussion went as far back, Chief, January, February, is that correct?
Correct.
And so we're kind of also waiting on them to send us the packets and give it a go. So again, I think because of this testing, a lot of it has kind of been put on the back burner. And it's really not much that Chief can control at this point. It's really the county saying we need to focus on the testing and going forward.
Well, it's a state. The state level is actually the one holding everything back. They're all still working out of the house, so that's one of the issues that we're still having, trying to get a hold of somebody. So all the paperwork has been submitted. It's just waiting for them to tell us yes. On the second Tuesday of every month, there will be state testing at your facility, and that'll happen the same day every month, some day of the week every month. I'm sorry. moving forward.
And sorry, I have a question on that, Tommy. So that means somebody on your team will have to be at the ESD on those designated days to administer the tests?
Correct.
Yes, there's going to be 4 of us that are on the list, Commissioner Butler. And because either all 4 of us are going to be showing up, or there's going to be a rotation, because there is a potential for not just every second of Tuesday of the month, but there might be, if they start, piling up more tests and more individuals outside of the area, then that might entice them to do, I think we talked about 2 a month, Chief?
Right now our
so.
goal is to get 1. This is really not even, like I said, we are the first agency within El Paso County to have a regional test site. Everyone else has to go to Lubbock or Midland to be able to test like that. So we're trying to jump that hurdle, and then once we do that, then we'll move on to the next step. We also did have the director of Texas Commission on Fire Protection here present at our facility. Never happened before, and he did come here. So he is very excited that we're moving forward with this, and he's considering right now also allowing us to do online testing, which again, we cannot proctor the test, conflict of interest, because we are a training academy. That's where Mr. Cano comes in. They did authorize for that to happen. So yes, we're trying to facilitate for our volunteers to not have to go far to test.
That's awesome. That's great. See, I learned something new today. So Tommy, this service that you're going to provide, or hopefully will provide, is within the structure of the contract we have with you all. So nothing has to change for that. Okay.
No, Chief and I did have a discussion. What if it gets bigger? What if it's other ESDs that are coming in, and is there funding discussed with that? Is it something that may change in the future? As Chief said, yes, and then we'll go back to having a discussion about that. But chances are it's all going to be covered under contract. I just don't want you guys to be paying for other ESDs, so to speak. So there's funding that's going to be allocated to you. Then Chief will present that to the board, and then we'll have a discussion about that if need be. But if not, again, we're committed to that. We're committed to being, again, as we said, we're going to be revamping a lot of things, and if we have to have added features to it, we will have added features that will be covered under the contract.
And Commissioner, just think about it this way. We travel to either Lubbock or Midland, and the ESDs there are funding for us to go there. So this just opens for them to also come here. It might not get big, but if it does, then we'll reconsider something else that we have to do.
But that's why I want 4 people on this, so that there's room enough for more to come, because that's what we want to do. We want to keep it here in El Paso.
Mm-hmm. Even community college is having to send them out to Lubbock and Midland to test because they can't supply the test. Any other questions, commissioners?
I have a question. Mr. Cano and your staff, I am going to kind of put you on the burner a little bit here. I know that when we signed the new contract, y'all said that you would be providing to us a report, a monthly report?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
To this date, I haven't seen a report from you all. I would like to see a report. I mean, you just said that you have a lot of stuff for us, but I'd like to see something like Ms. Butler challenged Chief to give us a report on his stuff. I'd like to challenge you guys to give us a report on your stuff, what you have for us.
Right.
And so we can have it on our Dropbox, we can look at it, and we know, okay, all right, this is going on, okay, this is going on, good. This is something that I would like. I would like this. I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of the commissioners, but I would like that.
Absolutely, Commissioner Diaz. And I think that these reports, of course, unbeknownst to us, what was going to happen to Chief and his staff with all the vaccinations, the reports are going to say that a lot of things have been put kind of in the back burner because of the same reason, that we have to try to schedule around what everybody else is working on Saturdays and weekends, and we don't want to be kind of a burden to hold it back, but we can put that on the report that, you know, we've already completed a few items, and then the rest I just don't want the report to come across as we're throwing Chief under the bus, because it's really out of his control because of all the time that's being allocated towards the vaccination. So, but we can definitely do that, Commissioner Diaz, not a problem. We can do that on a monthly basis, but go ahead, Chief.
As I said, that's all right. I've been under the bus, the train, the plane. All right.
Yeah, and I'll work, you know, together with Chief when we put those reports together, because I want to be in agreement with what's happened, and that, you know, that there's no disconnect between what we report to you and what Chief actually has working with us, so that, again, you'll have a report. It may not be a complete report based on, again, the timing issue, but it'll definitely be a report.
Mr. Cano, that's fine. I mean, all I'd like to see is just a little report. I mean,
Absolutely.
we're paying you guys, and I would like something a piece of paper that says, hey, we did this, you know? Just, I'd like to justify it, please.
Well, and just, you know, kind of to understand the whole contract situation. I know that in February, I sent the contract to Chief because it was going to be reviewed by the attorney. And so, you know, that's also being redlined. So the contract is still being looked at. And because, again, of the timing issue, it's kind of been put month after month behind. So there is a contract out there. I just don't know that it's you know, complete. And once it's complete and it gets returned back from the attorney, and we get it, we want to make sure that we adhere to whatever that contract is also going to be expecting from us. So there's still something out there pending, just for your information.
Okay, Chief, have you heard anything from Ken on that contract as well?
No, I'll talk. We can ask him here in a little bit of what's going on. He'll be joining in the meeting as soon as we call him.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Cano, we'll get you that information and we'll get you an answer as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners, item number 20 for informational purposes only.
Yes, and thank you, Tommy, Cynthia, Brenda. I appreciate it, and I agree with Commissioner Diaz. It's just good to know that you're part of the team and that you're helping us move forward. Right. And just like to be kept informed about the work that you're doing and ways that we can enhance that as a team.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Butler.
Thank you. Commissioners, item 21, can I have a motion to delete?
Motion to delete.
Second.
Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 22, discussion and action on the board returning to in-person live meetings and streaming the meetings to the public via the web. Commissioners, I submitted this item, and in accordance to what a couple of commissioners pointed out to me, that they would like to come back to in-person meetings. So it's up for you all to discuss. Thoughts, concerns?
I have no issue. I think it's a good idea.
What's the county position on this, Roger? I'm sorry, Rick, were you saying something? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that I support it. I think it's a good idea. We should be meeting in person again.
I agree. Yes. I agree too. Now, is there a county guidance on this yet?
Yes, commissioners, the county's going on level 1, so we only have 2 levels because, of course, our staff never left. We continued to work during the whole COVID versus the county. They're bringing in a small portion of their staff little by little on level 1. Level 2, they'll bring some more. And level 3, they'll all be back to work. But they're trying to figure out how they're going to do this with the bringing in the public and not being able to ask them if they've been vaccinated or not vaccinated, how they're going to do this. So right now, everybody's kind of having a trial basis, if you would. All I can recommend for you all is if you all want to come back to in person, I would suggest the board does that, and then we stream it to the public via the web until we see how this pans out. Once we see that it's kind of normalized, then we can open it back up to the public. So, thoughts on that, Commissioners?
I agree. I think, I know I can tell it for our work, if you got the shot, you don't have to wear a mask. If you don't have the shot, you have to wear the mask. I think there's some guidance out there across the spectrum on that.
Yes.
That goes. But my assumption is everyone got the shot here because we can't tell everyone to get the shot. We're not getting ourselves. But my recommendation is just what you said. What you said. Hey, come back as a board, show the strong unity that we do have. Display that and slowly bring back the whole team as it opens up through county.
Well, the governor signed that executive order today too, that pretty much, with regards to face mask, opening up everything to people. And then I think we need to be real careful with asking people about vaccines. That to me, and I've already been reading a lot, that's a violation of medical privacy rights. I don't know if we want to be in the forefront of asking anybody, did you get a vaccine? I think there's going to be a lot of litigation about that. Not only is it going to be in the federal and state levels, there's going to be a lot of court cases as to whether or not you can go around asking people if they've had medical procedures. I think that is a can of worms that we should not be touching.
I agree.
If I may.
No, I'm not saying we ask anyone if they got the shot or not. I'm saying, if as we continue to protect our resources, our number one resources are people. I think there's some actions out there. I know from my work, hey, the rules are simple. If you don't have the shot, you wear a mask. Now, we're not asking anything who has what. But I still have people who have the shot that decide they still want to wear the mask. So, I got it. I got the shot. Let me tell you all right now. So,
Tommy?
Commissioners, if I may just add, because we've been doing a lot of research on this, because obviously every client, every entity, every industry is asking the same question. You all have one thing in common, and that's employees. And you do have the right under the EOC guidelines to ask for vaccination, for proof of vaccination as well. The only thing is you cannot elaborate beyond that, okay? By that, I mean, you cannot ask, example, Commissioner Diaz, why haven't you gotten your vaccine? Because then that would open a can of worms at that point, Commissioner Avalos, and inquiring on his medical condition. Okay, is it because you have a medical condition or you have a religious belief? So the two protections right now that they're discussing is the Americans with Disabilities Act and religious beliefs. Okay, and if you inquire as to why they have not gotten vaccinated, then that's going to open that can of worms, and that would be a protection for anybody that has 15 or more employees. Okay, so obviously you being a public entity, you're covered automatically, employees are covered, but you do have under OSHA standards as well the right to protect your employees, because that's, even though OSHA and public entities, they really don't see eye to eye, so to speak, but you still have the right to protect your employees, especially your firefighters and anybody that administration, because of the type of work that you do. So you do have the opportunity to ask that question. I need you to bring me proof of vaccination reports, and school districts are doing it. I believe I don't know if Socorro is doing it or not, but I know Canutillo ISD has done it. I believe Anthony ISD has done it, and I want to say El Paso ISD. Don't quote me on that, but I know for sure Canutillo has done it. Because they asked my wife. She works for Canutillo ISD. And so we had to provide her with the vaccination record. So they just can't ask beyond that.
Commissioners, if I may, so in order to kind of save the way of what Mr. Commissioner Avalos said is, if you all decide to do this, is the board only back, everyone else is out till such time you all feel confident to see how this pans out, because you can't say certain people yes and certain people no. So that's going to be the tricky situation that you all can't say right now. We're still streaming it for the public to view. We'll still take in the phone calls via our number. You will be able to acknowledge them if they have public comment. However, right now, it's up to you all to decide how you all want to do it. And that's up to you as commissioners.
I would want some kind of I'm okay with going back and meeting in person, and even, you know, if there's some kind of, I know we can't mandate masks anymore, or at least as of like June 6th or something like that. But as long as we, as like a board, can agree to you know, social distancing and wearing masks, if we haven't been vaccinated, I would be comfortable with that. And if we do have the ability to do live streaming of the meetings, right? We have the infrastructure in place.
Yes, we actually, in anticipation for all this to happen, all my staff also got our conference room ready to, in case this did happen, we've been ready for a couple months already, actually, to live stream out of our boardroom. So we just have to connect it all together and change a couple of things, but yes, we are ready to live stream.
Hey, Chief, I have a question. Let's say we did do it in the boardroom and stuff like that, and we're all in there. Is there any way to put maybe some plexiglass just to separate one individual from the other commissioner, one from one another, just for protection reasons, you know, just to take care of ourselves? I mean, if we're gonna be in there and, you know, just playing it safe, I guess, is what I'm trying to.
Definitely, we can look into it, and that's what you all choose. Definitely, we can have our maintenance staff look into it.
Just something to separate us, you know what I mean? And then open in the front, because I mean, in the front, we're not talking to anybody. I mean, it'd just be from one another. That way, if you sneeze, you can contain it right in there where you're at and not spread it out to somebody else.
Yeah, I think the configuration of the boardroom, the way it was when we left, we're all really close to each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of space to spread out, not like in the other facility where we had, you know, some room. So I think that's something to talk about too.
So our room is pretty big. We can change the layout right now if it's just you all. We can lay it the long ways. That way you're all separated by more. We can definitely accommodate that, and we'll have plenty of time to make that happen. I'll get with our maintenance department, see if they can give me the plexiglass if it's available, because at one point getting a sheet of plexiglass was easier to find a bar of gold than plexiglass.
Yes.
But, I'm hoping that it's all back in stock, but who knows?
I think it is. I think it's back in stock. But do we need to vote on this, or is it just?
Yeah, I did put it for you all to vote. That way it's all a consensus and not just the chief saying, let's all come back. Do I have a motion for you all to return to in-live person meetings? No, huh?
And a representative from HR to show up for our meetings.
We have been visiting our clients, Commissioner Santana. We're normal now ourselves. My staff is fully vaccinated, so we're ready. We can be there in person. I mean, if you guys are going to be there in person, you have to have an audience, right? So we're willing to be part of your audience.
Well, the audience will be
audience member.
Commissioners.
Yeah, and we can do our monthly presentations then. The Commissioner Diaz requested, so I mean, we'd love to be there all over again and in front of you guys. Absolutely.
That'd be great. Go ahead, Chief.
So, Commissioners, the motion is going to be for the board to return to in-person meetings with the public viewing via the web until another vote is taken.
Yeah, till further notice, no?
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes? And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 23, discussion and action on incentive program for salary employees. Commissioners, can we leave this till after executive session?
Yes.
Can we skip to item number 25? Well, actually, we can leave that one till after executive session also.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and delete right now 23, 24, and 25?
Yes, we're gonna talk about those
Postpone. Oh,
till after the the executive session. So we
Yeah,
can.
not
so we just need it.
just move after executive session.
So the time is 7:33 p.m. We will now be breaking into executive session. All right, thank you. Are we all back?
Think so.
Yes, sir.
We are now back from executive session. The time is 8:59. Item number 23, discussion action on incentive program for salaried employees. Do I have a motion? I think you're on mute.
Motion to proceed is deliberated.
The motion should be authorize Cano HR and our attorney, Chief Esparza, to proceed as deliberated, Commissioner.
Motion to authorize Cano HR and our attorney to proceed as deliberated.
Do I have a second?
Second.
To include the chief.
Correct. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler is now absent. Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioners, can we delete item number 24? Have a motion?
Motion to delete.
Second.
Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler is absent. Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 25, discuss an action on audit for San Luis Fire Department. The motion should be proceed as deliberated.
Motion to proceed as deliberated.
Second.
Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under executive session, commissioners, those were already addressed. We proceed as deliberated. For item number 26 and 27, no action. Now, item number 28, discuss and approve the next meeting to take place on
I think it's June 15, Chief.
2:15 at 6 p.m. Live for the commissioners and web for the public.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barr, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Avalos?
Aye.
Motion carries. Adjournment at 9:02 p.m.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Hey, Cynthia, you there? She's still
Yeah.
on? Hey, I don't care if anyone